cloud. And then we just send it to you all. Before I add the people. Oh, hi, Nina. Sorry.
Hi.
I didn't see your chat. Oh, there you are. There you are. I didn't see your chat. Sorry.
Can you hear us now?
Right.
I can hear.
Yes, so sorry. It was my fault. My little like magic bar was not responding, so I couldn't unmute my computer. So I had to just like close and reopen.
Yeah. Yeah, glad we're all on. We have 2 people in the waiting room and we're 3 minutes past. We're already recording, so we'll just jump out the gate inviting them in while we're recording. Are you ready, Kendall?
Yep.
Just to make sure, looking at the agenda, it's a super short agenda. Like we're just gonna do council updates and then jump right into open forum. Anyone needs to add anything that we should discuss, or is all looking great and we're ready to rock and roll? All right. I'll admit everyone and I'll hand it over to Kendall. Remember to tell them that they're recording out the gate, Kendall.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to our first open council meeting of 2023. Just want to remind everyone that we are recording and it is already in progress. So if you could mute your mics and keep your camera off for now, that would be amazing. Thank you. And to start off, this open council meeting, like all the others, is open to all members in good standing and is a working council meeting. So we are following a tight agenda, and comments and chats should be saved until the open forum time. And during the open forum time, there might be limitations for questions and discussion due to time, but you can always reach out to council@kingstonfoodcoop.com with any further comments or questions, etc. And the very last thing after open forum will be an executive session, which is for council members only to discuss any sensitive topics that could directly harm the success of our co-op or infringe on the rights or privacy of a member, owner, or a staff member. So we can jump right in to our co-op updates. If our outreach coordinator will share them with us, please.
Thanks, Kendall. Hi, everybody. So starting off with our updates, we have 1,279 members in our co-op, and out of that number, 243 are solidarity members. As far as events coming up, we are going to be planning a quarterly gathering for our members and community members happening next month in February, where we will talk more about schematic design and nominations and things like that. So stay tuned for that. And the event itself is gonna it's being hosted by CIC, which is the Community Integration Committee. And over the winter, we did a dot board feedback campaign. So we gathered feedback from a bunch of different organizations in Kingston and community members, etc., about the schematic design, about programs and things that our members and community members wanted to see. And so that is going into our schematic design of our building, and we're really excited to share it with you guys. So stay tuned for that. We're still in the planning process and we're ironing out some details, but we look forward to seeing you guys at it soon, and look forward to celebrating this milestone together and charting ahead on the rest of the design development phase together. I think that's all I have for co-op updates. Sorry. Oh, I think that's on. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna pass it back to you, Kendall.
Thank you, Siobhan. And if QS could update us on the finance committee and financial report.
Yeah, I can knock out a 2-for-1 right here for finance and biz dev. So for finance committee right now, a big update is the one who usually reports these, Ali. His last month was December of last year, and Kendall has graciously stepped in to be our interim treasurer as we speak. This is her first week as interim treasurer. So thank you, Kendall, for stepping up. I know there's a big learning curve before we transition folks and people, but for right now, as we get the presentation mode for this pulled up, we have reported and Kendall is appointed to interim treasurer as the updates. And then for the goals for the next reporting period, the things to be achieved over the next 4 weeks is onboarding a new treasurer. We have someone in mind that we can't wait to see if they get fully onboarded into the team. Then hopefully by this next meeting, they will be here sharing the finance update. In addition, the first installments of the operation and capital grants would be submitted for, so that we can receive our funds with our fiscal sponsor. So the operations grant will be submitted to Novo for the year, which will trickle down into Q1 of this year, in addition to the capitals grant. And then from there, we request the funds as soon as they hit GWI from GWI. For the account balances, we have $140,485.34 in our checking account, $157,281.53 in our savings account, and of those amounts, $191,850 is our member equity, and we still have $231,000 in GWI reserves. The member equity is not held in any of our checking and savings account, is right now a part of the GWI reserves as we figure out exactly how to house those in our bank accounts. So yeah, all in all, we're financially sound. Everything is looking good. It's sounding great. We haven't had to tap into member equity at all. And hopefully, with the submission of the grants, everything will keep smooth sailing as we grow the ship out. And I would jump to biz dev next. Yep. So since the last reporting period, we've finalized the pro forma inputs determined. I want to thank every other council member here because there are some outstanding programs which we had to get to the bottom of. So I thank you all for helping get to the bottom of those, which were great because we're able to put some inputs in our pro forma. And I've begun to outreach for new biz dev members, one of which is here. We'll call you out. But it's been a bit hard to coordinate as I'm on a tight schedule and moving around. But all things considered, I'm really excited about the new members and very happy about the work that we're set to do together. And then new committee charter was drafted since the last period to take into account the expanded scope of work and the possibility of new members being onboarded, as this is the first time we've opened this to other members outside of the council. And our goals and projects for the next reporting period is the biz dev members onboarded. And I hesitated on the other sort of like concrete goal until we talked about it with all the other members and came on the same page of things, but I'll be more than happy to add them of the summary of work completed since last reporting period in February, to just give everyone an update on what we worked on in the 4 weeks between that meeting and this one. And yeah, so any questions or anything from the other council members, anything you want to bring up with respect to finance and biz dev before we move on?
Curious if when we're gonna do the committee of charter approval.
I think we can put that in for the Friday meeting because I should have met with all of them by that time. If I finalize everyone's schedules. But yeah, hopefully this Friday we would have talked about it and the changes that we made last Friday would be incorporated into it.
Perfect.
Anything on finance at all? All right, thanks. I'll pass it back over to Kendall.
Okay, so I think we can keep moving through our committee reports by just going up from the bottom up. So whatever's next there is capital project.
All right, we're working backwards. So this was previously the Building Development Committee, and so part of the work we did this last period was we changed the name to the Capital Project Steering Committee. We worked on a new governance structure to take us through this next phase of design, pre-construction, and construction. So the new steering committee will help us approve, any sort of like change orders that come in that are over a certain amount, so that it's not just like the council looking at what these budgetary changes are. We also have this small group of members that are also professionals in the field and know what they're looking at. So we're excited to have their support for that. A very exciting thing is that we have hired a construction management firm. So the contract, the very final details are just being hammered out, but it should be signed, if not tomorrow, then the next day. So that's really exciting. And that means that then we can move, as our schematic design is about to finish at the end of this month, then our construction firm can help us sort of like cost estimate this in a really accurate way. And then we can make sure that we've secured the funding to build to build out the building. So that's all happening. We've also done a lot of work in the last month moving forward to our shared parking agreement with the Big Bubble and KMR that own the parking lot adjacent to the co-op buildings. So we're working towards an agreement that will be, really beneficial for all parties and will allow us to successfully operate a grocery store. So as Siobhan alluded to before, the schematic design is scheduled to be completed at the end of this month. And then we'll get to show that to everybody. We are still looking for a project manager. So spread the word. It's a job that could potentially be sort of this long-term role with the co-op after we complete construction even. It could be someone that wants to get into project management or wants to get into this type of capital project management, but maybe has different project manager experience. Like this could be a good training ground. It also could be good for someone with lots of like construction management experience. And we could scale up the job for the right person. So really, this could be a great job. We need a good person. Spread the word, please help us. Next goals for the next period are the presentation of schematic design, hiring the capital project manager, and the beginning of those next phases, the design development and cost estimation with our construction manager. We had some fees, some lawyer fees, some project management fees, and grocery design fees this month. These numbers are only going to get bigger over the next few months. So hold on to your hats. Any questions from council on this?
I just have a note just to make sure we follow up on this. At the time of the signing for the Capitals project manager, I know you said either today or tomorrow or the next day. Can you just make a note of how much is due on signing so that we could do that in finance?
Yeah.
Thank you.
No problem. Okay, anything else? All right, next on the docket is community integration.
Okie dokie. So community integration this past month is mostly in planning for the year. So we had our work plan for Q1 that we were working on. And Siobhan and I yesterday represented the co-op at Bard for a Black entrepreneurship panel, which was really cool and got to spread some awareness of what we're doing for sure. We also set some dates for upcoming events. Our quarterly members event is now scheduled for February 18th from, I put the wrong time, 11 to 12:30, which I can fix right now. But of course that announcement will go out, that official announcement. So that's just like a PSA, as well as the annual meeting, which is scheduled for April 1st. And upcoming is just finishing up this work plan and the strategic communications plan, so we can make sure that we are communicating effectively and efficiently with the year coming up, and making sure that we're just maintaining that transparency and conversation with our members and the community. So I think that's about it. Does anyone have any questions on that from the council? Okie dokie. Pass it to nominations. Are we doing both in one?
I'll skip to governance and then I'll pass back to you for nominations. How about that? So we toss it around a little bit. Because Nina can't, I don't think she can report in. So do you mind doing it, Kendall? I'll take that as a yes. Okay, so governance committee. It was a slow month due to the holidays, but we still managed to create a work plan for our Q1 strategic goals. We're waiting for comments back on our bylaws edits from NFCA. That's sort of like the last thing we need to do before we present the proposed changes to the council and then present them to the membership. And we started onboarding a new council member. So our goals for next reporting period are we need to update our council calendar. We need to completely onboard our new council member who will be coming on into the role of treasurer. And, working closely with CIC and Siobhan, our outreach coordinator, oops, I reversed those letters, to share the information and the understanding of like why we've revised the bylaws. I know I talk about this all the time and it's like vague. So we're really going to get nitty gritty with what this whole project has been about. And I think that's it. And then, so nominations is a subcommittee of governance, and maybe Kendall, you could just give a report on that.
Okie dokie. Well, yeah, as you kind of covered in governance, we identified several possible nominees, and we are still trying to reach out to more people as well, and recommended one candidate for a 1-year appointment to the council. And then governance will be handling the onboarding and so on. And upcoming, we are working to identify candidates to run in the April 2023 election. So, of course, if you or someone you know would be interested in running this year, please spread the word, and we will also do some outreach around that. And that is all for our committee reports. So we can now, and as long as there's no new business from the council, we can now move into the open forum. So if you have any questions or comments, you can raise your hand and we'll call on you, or you can leave them in the chat and we can read them out and answer them that way.
Hi, Kendall.
Hi, Alan.
When the last time I was at a co-op function in the parking lot of Bubbles, there was some controversy about the cauldron, and I wanted to know what the resolution, if any, was there with the cauldron people.
Yeah. Ultimately, we've offered, and the lanes are still open for many conversations to get to the bottom of the issue that they've identified on their end as an issue. And we have not been contacted about pursuing those opportunities. I've followed up multiple times to have meetings with them, and I've heard nothing. So as of right now, we've extended many times to have conversations, and the door is open, and we have not heard anything. And so at this state right now, that's sort of like where we are. With respect to the folks who hang out in the parking lot a lot of the times, we've received updates on them all the time. We see them all the time. We have a lot of interface with them as community members, and everyone seems to be well and great. And so, yeah, I guess that's the that's the status of that situation.
Okay, I was just concerned about the status of the parking lot situation for all the members and what the interaction might be.
Thank you. Yeah, we remain open and willing to work and come together to come to any resolution, because we believe there is a resolution to it. But right now, we're trying to get our work done, but the lanes for conversation is still open on our end. Karen?
Yes, I had a question about the ownership of the parking lot. So at this point, it's, what is KMR? What is that? What is that? Who is that?
Yep. So Kingston Midtown Rising, and we shorthanded by KMR.
I don't,
Um,
acronyms.
yeah. They are the nonprofit who is overseeing the development of the community laundromat. So they're the ones who we're sharing a parking lot with. So if we, say, how the parking lot works on a day-to-day basis, we will be in agreement with them on how it works. However, none of us owns the parking lot itself.
Oh,
Yep. It will
what
be.
does that mean? No one owns the parking lot? I mean, so there's no ownership deed, some whatever to that property? No.
So KMR, who oversees the Big Bubble, does not own the parking lot, and we, who are, the co-op, we don't own the parking lot. Right now, it is owned by Novo Foundation.
Oh, okay.
Yep,
Thank you.
we're working
Okay.
with Novo on settling all the legal agreements and everything, and all seems to be going well to ensure that we have, full access to the parking lots, and we have a need for nothing with respect to that by the time the store opens.
Very good. Thank you. That's the answer. Okay.
Yeah, and to answer the question in the chat from Patty, one elected seat opens up each year. So there will be one seat open in April for the election. Yeah. So are there any other questions or follow-ups to any of those questions? Okay. Well, Happy New Year, everyone, and thank you so much for being here. And we hope to see you next month at our quarterly members event, and we'll be getting into some of the stuff with the building design and what's been going on so far. So it's definitely going to be a great opportunity to get involved and have a good time. And so we will see you all soon, hopefully. Thank you for coming again.
Thank you.
We are now going into our executive session. Forgot to announce. Have a good night, Gerard.
Um,
All right, fastest meeting ever. Perfect.
Can we stop the recording before we go into executive session? Thank you.